Good morning. Welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. I am your chair, Commissioner Krista Yoakum. To my left is Vice Chair Chelsea Johnson. To her left, Commissioner Matt Schulte. To my right, Commissioner Sean Flowerday. And welcome back, Commissioner Vest. Glad to have you with us this morning. Will you please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with us? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please begin the meeting.
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located at the wall of the rear of the hearing room. All written materials to be discussed at today's meeting can be viewed at the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Printing options are available upon request. Brings us to item 1, minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on February 17th, 2026.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Abstain.
Johnson,
Yes.
Yoakum.
I will abstain as I wasn't present.
Motion carries. Item 2, claims. 2A, approval of the claims processed through February 20th, 2026. And I'll note there is an amendment for payroll.
I move approval of the claims, including payroll.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims, including payroll, through February 18th, 2026. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries. 2B, a approval of a claim to the Mediation Center in the amount of $7,950.
I move approval of the claim to the mediation center.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this claim. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Abstain.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte. Schulte.
He
Just
stepped
walked
out.
out.
Oh, excuse me. Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries. 2C, approval of the claims for goods and services beyond a 90-day time period provided in Nebraska Revised Statute 23-135. There are 3. The City of Lincoln Police Department for a total of $58.24. Commercial Air Management for a total of $646. And Sheriff of Douglas County for a total of $8.73.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve these claims. Please call the roll.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Schulte on item 2C.
I'm just going to abstain because I stepped out for a minute.
Of course. All right, motion carries. Brings us to item 3, our special presentation, a Commissioner's Award of Excellence 2025 award annual winner to Brett Wrinkle, County Corrections, in the category of safety. And I have the nomination letter I'll read into the record. Brent Wrinkle, Sergeant with the Department of Corrections, has been selected as the annual Commissioner's Award of Excellence winner for 2025. Wrinkle has worked for Lancaster County for 16 years. He was nominated by Sergeant Nick Vokasek in the category safety. In his nomination, Sergeant Vokasek states, Sergeant Brett Wrinkle witnessed a medical emergency involving a fellow sergeant who began choking food during her lunch meal. Sergeant Wrinkle saw that she was unable to get good airflow and had already begun to panic. He asked if he could help her, and she nodded yes. Sergeant Wrinkle then performed 3 back blows, which dislodged the food and allowed the sergeant to breathe normally again. He completed this task swiftly, calmly, and without hesitation, drawing on training and keeping his fellow supervisor safe. The action taken by Sergeant Wrinkle prevented a far more serious medical incident from occurring. If not for his quick response, the situation could have resulted in great harm or even death for his colleague. By recognizing the emergency and putting his training into quick action without hesitation, Sergeant Wrinkle ensured that the safety of his fellow sergeant. His quick and decisive actions exemplify the qualities recognized for the Commissioner's Award of Excellence. For these reasons, we are pleased to award Sergeant Brett Wrinkle with the annual Commissioner's Award of Excellence for 2025.
It's my very real pleasure.
Thank you.
Good morning, Brad Johnson, Director. Oh, sorry.
Taking a moment for a photo opportunity.
Brad Johnson, Director for Lancaster County Department of Corrections. So we just want to thank you guys in the committee that, works hard on looking through these nominations and, picking out the various winners. I'm sure that there are multiple occasions where some at times that they have multiple choices. We're just glad that Sergeant Wrinkle was the one this year. I think as the nomination points out, good things happen and extraordinary events occur when you provide folks with skills and you do the appropriate training. And but it still takes somebody who's has the will and compassion and fortitude to put that into place, and the courage. And we're here to celebrate that with Sergeant Wrinkle. Congratulations.
I just wanted to thank you guys all for this award. This is Sergeant Prinsloo. This is the one who was choking on the apple. I had a lot of stuff I was going to say up here, but I just want to thank my family and friends and everybody back at the jail. It's a tough job. Nobody recognizes what we do there. But like Mr. Johnson said, when you go through those trainings, it really means something. A lot of people just sit there and, we got to go through training, But when it actually comes into play and you're able to remember your training and stuff, and you save somebody like Melanie here, who's like a sister to me. We worked together for, what, 10? Too long. Thank you guys again, and everybody.
Thank you for having your teammates back. We're so lucky to have you.
Thank you. I'm lucky to have. I'm lucky to work for this guy in the department, so I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's great to see you here this morning.
Can we get one picture, Brad? All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I think he's going to try.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
It's a good moment in our agenda. It's great to be able to recognize employees like Sergeant Winkle. The next item we'll move right on along in our agenda here into the consent items, please.
Item 4, consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by commissioner by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there is an exception, these items will be approved as one single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are the approval of A, amendments to the following county contracts: C-23-0313 with Production Creek LLC doing business as Production Creek Specialty Advertising for clothing and screen printing and embroidery apparel supplies. C-16-0526 with Information First Incorporated for professional services as an on-needed basis to support the county's use of HPERM Content Manager. C-24-0285 with Voss Electric Company doing business as Voss Lighting for electrical equipment, bulbs, and ballast. And B, right-of-way contracts with the following: Lee Raymond Benz, Northwest 27th Street and West Little Salt Road, the amount of $271. And Mark Lauterbach, West Princeton Road and Southwest 29th Street, in the amount of $703.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yep.
Vest,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to item 5, new business. 5A, resolution authorizing the board chair to sign a program agreement with the Nebraska Department of Transportation to establish terms upon which the state will assist the county in obtaining funds for improvements at the intersections located at 38th, 47th, and 65th Streets and Saltillo Road for additional roundabouts.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. This item and the item that follows it are in reference to our agreement with NDOT. As we discussed a couple weeks ago in a staff meeting, we're breaking this project into 2 phases, and we're going to be working with the City of Lincoln and the local developers to add these improvements. And so this is bringing these improvements into the federalized contract, and we're super excited about it.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries. 5B, a program agreement with the Nebraska Department of Transportation to establish terms upon which the state will assist the county in obtaining funds for the intersection improvements located at 38th, 47th, and 65th Streets for additional roundabouts. The county's share of the total project cost is estimated at $771,000.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries. 5C, agreement with Felsberg, Holt, and Olvig for engineering design NEPA services for a federal aid transportation project on Sotelo Road between South 27th Street and South 68th Street at an estimated cost of $764,550.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. This item is for the actual contract with the engineering firm that is going to add the roundabouts to this particular project. I would also like to state with that, we're going to have to kind of do some revisions to the plans to divide them into 2 phases and to take out the areas that are now going to have intersection improvements on them. So it's a little more complex than you might think, and so it is of course a significant effort.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Seeing no discussion, please call the roll.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries. 5D, a special event application from Trevor Slonick on behalf of Gravel Quest LLC for a gravel event on April 18th, 2026 from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Good morning. My name is Trevor Slonick. I'm the race director for the Orbital Odyssey, a backyard gravel ultra taking place here in Lancaster County. The riders will complete 10-mile loops every hour on the hour until one rider remains. And the route is primarily between Branched Oak Lake and Malcolm, all on gravel roads. We're expecting around 50 to 100 riders this year.
I want to congratulate you for choosing to put this in April and not February or August.
Yeah,
It seems like they always come in February or August, which
Right.
it just seems like that's not the best time to be on a gravel.
Listen,
road. Go nuts.
I was racing last week, so and I got second, so you know.
Congratulations.
So
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, but I have questions.
sure.
I actually just wanted to know, how many, a little frivolous maybe, but, so how many rounds does it typically go until there's only one left?
So last year we had, so this is a second year event. Last year it was 11. So, and that was a little longer course. So it was 12. This is going to be 10 miles. So it'll probably be around that 12-hour mark. It's, you know, I don't tell them how long they have to go. That's kind of for up to them to decide. You know, it's kind of the spirit of the competition. But I don't make it easy on them. So especially north of town, it gets pretty hilly. So
A little hilly out there,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. Any other questions or discussion?
But just a
Yeah.
follow-up then, it seems like I go to a lot of movies, and I saw a preview about a movie where people started out walking, and the consequences of falling out were pretty severe in this
Sure.
movie. You don't do anything like that to the
No.
riders who fall out.
no.
I thought we'd just get that on
Yeah.
record so they could all rest easy.
All good.
Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Brings us to 5E, an agreement with ADP to provide employment verification services to county employees. There is no cost to the county. And just one second. Good morning, Commissioners. Matt Hanson, Lancaster County Clerk. So this is a contract for when people are, say, applying for a mortgage or something and they need to verify their income. ADP currently handles that service for us. There was a discussion with HR to actually get this document signed by the county to signify that we're a distinct entity from the city who kind of currently handles the contract. That's why it's for $0 for us, but otherwise it's housekeeping paperwork, kind of splitting county and city.
Thank you for that explanation. We have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries. 5F. Excuse me. Contracts with Miracle Workers Auto Collision and Morrow Collision Center for the annual automotive paint services and bodywork, and an amount not to exceed $15,000 for both contracts.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 6 is our public hearing action item. After a public hearing has been conducted and closed, action on the item that was the subject of the public hearing will be scheduled as a separate public hearing action item. Because the public hearing has been concluded and closed on that item, no further testimony or evidence will be accepted or admitted during the public hearing action item portion of the agenda. This is 6A, action from the February 10th, 2026 public hearing, the resolution in the matter of a county special permit 25045, a request for battery energy storage system, approximately 20 acres, generally located northwest of Holdridge on the east side of Northwest 140th Street.
Yeah, yes.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a statement. I was not present 2 weeks ago when this public hearing took place, but I did watch you all, and you all looked really good that day. Nice sweater, Matt, that was sharp. I did also review the video this morning. I watched it again because 2 weeks ago I might have missed a few things, but I did watch it again this morning just to review. So I am going to vote this morning based on what I have observed. I just wanted to make a few comments. I wasn't here to ask questions, but I did appreciate those of you who asked follow-up questions. Very insightful, very helpful. You know, from the beginning of our time on the board, 3 of us have been on a long time, and we've been through a lot of these, and we try to walk that fine line between allowing the rights of property owners to develop their properties, use them for profit and financial gain, which is appropriate, and yet respect the concerns of those who are most directly impacted by any changes that will take place on that property. So I really appreciated the efforts made to address the concerns of the landowners who testified 2 weeks ago, especially in the area of fire, which seems like a big concern. Mr. Brown from ESRG, I thought, was very knowledgeable. Technology changes over time, and we all know that what was true 20 years ago has improved in many ways during that time span. So the efforts put into fire mitigation and fire control are significant, and I appreciate the explanations that the board received talking about how events that have happened in the past are not the way things are done now. So the efforts to protect those volunteer firefighters are important, and I think in this case appropriate. I did appreciate that. Also, efforts for noise mitigation and a concern of that. Didn't appear the water drainage issue really rose to the level of a concern. So just a lot of input, and as always, our board, I will be voting to allow economic development in Lancaster County. It's good for all of us, and yet putting in guidelines that will help protect those in the area. Just wanted to put that on the record so that everybody knew where I was coming from this morning. And I guess I would move approval of the permit.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this resolution. Any further discussion?
I guess I'll just say these are unique issues when property rights are at odds with each other, where one person's property rights may conflict with another person's property rights. I do have my real estate license, so I think I understand that pretty well. I do see that there still is a disagreement in property rights, and the way I guess I'm going to look at this is, given the choice to either stand with an international corporation or stand with people who live right here in our county, I'm going to stand with the people who live in our county and stood up to oppose this. So I will not be supporting it.
Any further discussion?
It seemed clear that the applicant met all the conditions of the text amendment and special permit was done correctly. I see no reason why we wouldn't approve it.
I just would add that I talked to my friends in Waverly who are also involved in the other project that went through the city. The feedback I got was that, is it SoFi is the corporation that we're talking about, I think. SoFi?
Sophos.
SoFi. We ask these people that are coming into our county to be good neighbors and take into consideration what the people who are already here are telling them. The feedback I got from folks in Waverly is that they did that very well, and I do appreciate their efforts to make accommodations.
Any further discussion?
I just wanted to disclose that I did have a conversation with Dave with Malcolm Fire and Rescue.
Thank you for that. Anyone else have anything they need to disclose? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
No.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries. Commissioners, that brings us to our public hearings on item 7. The first public hearing, 7A, is a closeout and discontinuance of the countywide Community Development Block Grant Housing Rehabilitation Program.
We will now open the public hearing.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. All right, good morning. Dennis Meyer, County Budget and Fiscal Officer. Today, this public hearing is kind of our next step. If you remember, it's probably been a few weeks back, the board adopted a resolution to close out our CDBG and our owner-occupied housing to move it to a bridge fund. Since that adoption of that resolution, we have found out a few other items we needed to do to take this in that same direction. So this public hearing is really the second public hearing that we've had. The link that is out there on the agenda actually takes you to what was published, because this is really to kind of let the public know how we're going to move and to hear any type of comment if they've got it from what we've done with the funding. So just as a reminder, we did hold a hearing back on June 16th of 2020, and it was really to amend our CDBG reuse plan, and we repurposed it to the owner-occupied housing. So that's what we did. This hearing is really to talk about the projects we've done, where we're at, and what are we going to do. Now, when I get done talking about the projects, I'll kind of also then talk about that we've also found out it's not quite as easy as we thought. So we've still got another step to do this, but this public hearing kind of takes care of the last public hearing we need for this. So just to talk about what we've kind of done with the program, the county was able to assist 14 owner-occupied households, and they were located in Waverly, Hickman, Firth, Bennett, Sprague, and Raymond. So we started out with about $420,000, and through that we've kind of worked our way down to about $43,000 is what we've got. Within the program, all the assisted households were income eligible at or below 80% of the medium income. So I think we've done everything we needed to do with the projects. So that's why we've kind of got to the point where we're going to discontinue the program and move it over. I had mentioned that we've got the $43,000 left in there. After having discussions with the Department of Economic Development, through that discussion, we have determined that before we can close this program out, we need to do one more project. The only way that we can deobligate this funding is if we're at or below 35,000. So through discussion with SEND, we are going to do one more project, and that should then get us below that. And then any remaining funds there, we can deobligate that, move it to that new bridge fund, and go from there. So after this public hearing, the next steps will be is to amend a couple of our contracts to make sure we've got SEND as current as possible on those contracts. Figure out one more project. We'll get that in front of you. We'll jump through those hoops. And then from there, we'll close this program out, and then we'll move on to that bridge fund that we want to. So we'll most likely probably have to do something with that resolution that we adopted a few weeks back to kind of get it up to date when we're ready to close it. But that's kind of the process we're sitting at right now. Like I said, we thought we were close to being done. We're still close, but we've got maybe one or two more hoops to jump through.
This has been a tremendous project of helping people, like you said, at 80% of the median income, make really good improvements to their houses, you know, just doing things that they might
Right.
not otherwise have been able to afford.
Right, and every once in a while, we get to that point over the years on, okay, what were we gonna do with the funding? And one of the options was to always return it to the Nebraska Department of Economic Development. Through discussions with SEND, we'd made that decision that we could move it to this owner-occupied, use that $420,000 straight in Lancaster County, and we we did 14 projects. Excuse me, the majority of them were right around the $24,999. So, you know, so we did do some good projects. We got 14 households set up in a lot better spot. You know, we're going to do one more project now, and then we're going to move on to what we feel the next move is.
This allowed 14 homeowners to keep their homes, live where they wanted to live, and have those upgrades that made the home livable. This is really good work. Now we will have 15. apparently,
Yes,
before we're done.
absolutely, absolutely.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak at this public hearing?
Brent Pengraff.
You'll have to swear in.
Before you start. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give is about, excuse me, let me start over. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
Brent Pengraff from SEND, Housing Inspector. Dennis provided a great overview of the program that we've had with this owner-occupied rehabilitation. We just wanted to say, if anyone knows of this last potential applicant living in rural Lancaster County, preferably, to please reach out to SEND, visit our website or give us a call. There are many different types of people we help with these, and if you know of anyone of eligibility, have them please reach out.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak today? Seeing none, we can close the public hearing on the housing rehabilitation program.
Commissioners, that brings us to our second public hearing, item 7B, the petition for the Southeast Rural Fire Protection District to annex a portion of the Bennett Rural Fire Protection District.
We will now open the public hearing on the petition to annex. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this, please come forward. We'll start there. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Any opponents, please come forward. And you will need to be sworn in, similar to the previous hearing.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Scott Kinsey, Bennett Rural Fire District. Thank you. You can tell I'm not used to this. 10 days ago, I sent a little email out to everybody to give you insight on the Bennett Rural Fire District. Didn't know if anybody had any questions at this time that I can address. Going back, I find this very concerning. We have 25 households that want to opt out, and I have no reason. So that's part of why I got in. I think Bennett is a very proactive. We do a great job. Not that this is no disrespect to Southeast. Southeast is, they're just the middleman in this particular deal. But I do not see that there's any benefit. I'd like to know why they want out. Now, we have response times. I can tell you that if they come out of the south station, that's like a 7-minute deal. From Bennett, it's 13. And if they have to come out of their north station, it is 10 minutes. So we all know the time saves, but realistically, we have been within the standards. We have had, I've been on the board 12 years. No one from this community has ever came in and said, hey, we have an issue. You're not giving us proper care in that. I'm very, just like I said, taken back by this. This has really been hard on me and our group. But anyway, going in, not trying to waste your time, I'm fumbling, but it's going to mess up thing. Right now, between Southeast and us, 112th Street is a perfect borderline. We all have volunteers. Things are already enough that they got to try to, they're not there every day. It isn't a common action. Now we're going to take a segment and take it out. So now when we go out and fire calls, we're saying, okay, you can do this area, but you can't do that area and drive around it. It's confusing. We don't need to be doing this. To me, it's just adding more, not good for it. I also am concerned that if you would allow this, what's to stop their neighbors from the north to the south to come back in and say, we want out? Then we can go down to our people right next to Panama and Hickman and Palmyra. I think you open up a precedent. How do you allow one out and not another? Not telling you your job. I wouldn't want to be in your seat and say, okay, you get to go out, but you can't. Because as I understand, when I visited with different people, you do have to keep our fire district a certain size. I understand that. But we're, as I put in my letter, very proud that we haven't had to float a bond. We have a well-equipped department. When we start losing tax revenue, it's not a good deal. Plus, we also lose potential for recruits. You're taking away, areas. So I guess I'm just asking you commissioners to really look hard. And like I said, with the fact that they don't show up, then the old adage, if it's not broke, why fix it? I think, we've been doing a good job. One other thing, and here again, this is no reflection to Southeast. I look at this in the fact that, okay, they have lost territory in the last few years because Lincoln has annexed it. These people right now, where they're at, I really feel, if you ask me in 10 years, I'll bet Lincoln's out there, if not sooner, and it's going to happen anyway. I mean, what I was getting at is if you allow this, and the opt-out, Southeast loses them again because Lincoln annexed them. To me, you're paying double spending. You're allowing the opt-out to redo the mapping for, the district, the tax changes. I mean, Dennis was here when he left Myers. He could tell you what, that's, to me, you're adding expense that you really don't need. So I guess that's my take on it. I just really would hope that you would look hard at this. I don't see whose best interest to pass on more tax burden to the other taxpayers, because 25 households that didn't even show up to say why we want it out. I'm sorry, that's my problem. Any questions? I'll quit rambling.
I appreciate the information you provided about the responses you've had in that community, how they've hit the standards. That was my assumption, was the application was in response to some slow response times, but according to your data, that doesn't look.
And I can back that up, sir. We have printouts that whenever our people, the minute we get the call, this is, the clock is running, and we have printouts. This isn't just me saying that this is done. Another thing on ours, here again, this just going back. When we go out and get dispatched, we are going with actual apparatus. So if it is a medical condition, the ambulance isn't right. If it's a fire, we have, water and equipment going that way. Some districts will go in with POV, meaning they can take a personal vehicle. Well, that's fine, but if Joe Blow is having a medical episode, how do you, if I just took my car, I don't have a defibrillator, I don't have anything to do any good. So I think this is even more into our standards. We're taking the appropriate deal. Here again, this is not anything towards Southeast. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying this is what Bennett does. Here again, if they want to opt out, any case, I don't care whether it's Eagle, Waverly, Bennett, Myra, whatever. If there's a structure fire, we're calling for mutual aid. None of us have the ability, manpower or water, in a rural community to fight a big house fire. So I guess here again, if their concern is that Southeast will do it better, I'm not saying they can't, but I'll guarantee you that the mutual aid was set up for a reason, and it's because none of us can handle this. And so I guess here again, I don't see the benefit of what's what the deal is. And ultimately, we're still volunteer, meaning the fact you got to get those people there. Right now, we've drove the deal, like I said, in a perfect world, we get the call. It was 7 minutes, 10, and 13. But if they're already out on a call, then it's got to go to Plan B to their North Station. If they're busy, then it's back. Then they got to do a mutual aid, and it's whoever they can get to come. So had we been showing fault where we had not been proper in our, it'd be a lot easier to deal. I'm sorry, did you have a question, sir?
Yeah, I missed your name.
Scott Kinsey.
Kinsey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kinzie.
And your role, Scott?
I'm president of the board.
Okay.
Bennett Rural Fire District Board. We're the financial overseer for the fire and rescue.
I see.
And,
well, thank you. Thank you for your service to the larger community.
Well, those boys need more. I just do nothing. They donate, our guys, like I said, 18 calls a month. That's over 40 hours a month they donate. That's those
people who are in need. Yeah.
And that's why I say I find this a little, with these 25 households, it'd be a lot easier to address you folks and say why. I'd be embarrassed to come up here and, it was because of poor. I probably wouldn't be here. I'd be saying, talking to our inner people. Go ahead.
So, Mr. Kinsey, I do have a question, just following up on something you said. To your knowledge, this group of folks or any individuals didn't come to you and express concerns about anything before they took this action?
Been on the board, sir, for 12 years. I've never missed a meeting. We meet monthly, the same second Monday, 7 o'clock, like we have for years. I know one of the people in that housing development actually used to be on the department, so he knows connections. So, if he couldn't get to the board, he knew our present chief. So, but nowhere, this was just a total blindside that we get a letter stating we want out.
Okay.
And so.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have a question too. Sorry. Thanks for being here, Scott. Could you talk a little bit more about, in your letter that you would continue to provide coverage to the surrounding areas to the north, south, and west. Could you just talk a little bit more about that?
Okay, I do have a map. I didn't print it off. I can show you folks, but what it amounts to.
We do have a screen that you can put the map on.
Oh, okay. Hey, you guys are high tech. I'm not. Give me just.
Remain black for just a minute, and then
Okay.
we'll show you.
All righty. I'm going to put this right under here, folks.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now I can
That's
see.
upside down to us.
Okay. Thank you.
That works better. Thank you.
That's what happens when you send an old guy. Okay. Right here is territory 18. This is a housing development that wants out. To the left there, that's 112th Street. Okay, that's our division line. Like I said, nice and clean. If we opt them out, the yellow is Bennett's district. So we're still coming in here, still have to bypass Roundham to go up here. I said the confusion, you know, I mean, how do you get in and, you know, and here again, let's go back for 911 dispatch. You know, when they're sitting here, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that 25 is out, oh no, yeah, these three over here aren't, and this and that. I think there's enough confusion without adding confusion. That's my question, you know, that's why I just don't see it as a good fit. And I would hope also it'd be like me coming in here, not knowing your day-to-day running. I don't know if you need me to leave that up. You know, how you folks do your business. I don't think any of these households have any clue of the day-to-day activities of the Bennett Rural Fire and Rescue. And for them, whatever their reason is, I don't think they took in any of the, you know, the people that serve on the department. I don't think they took into the board's consideration any of their fellow taxpayer dollars. Whatever their motivation is, it was kind of a me first. I guess if their concern is response time, then you maybe shouldn't have moved to a rural area. I've lived in a rural area all my life. I don't have paved streets. I don't have all the amenities, but I can see the stars every night. I'm very comfortable with that.
Can you leave that map?
I
with the
sure
clerk's
can,
office?
ma'am. Mm-hmm. You betcha.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was in error when I asked for anyone for this. I should have asked, is the applicant present, and would the applicant like to speak? We'll go back to that.
Okay, you're done with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Appreciate your
very
time.
much. I appreciate you coming in. Is the applicant present, and would the applicant like to speak? Okay, is there anyone else opposed? Oh. No, not opposed. No. I just want to. Are you gonna testify neutral? Yeah. Okay, we'll get to you at the end. Okay. And again, you will need to swear in, and you might have noticed the timer coming on, so
All right.
we'll use that guide.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. State your name and sign in real quick.
My name is Luke Baldwin. I am the fire chief for Bennett Fire and Rescue. Good morning. Want to thank Scott for coming up and explaining stuff. I just wanted to go over, cover a few things operationally, what we do to kind of piggyback some of the data for our response times. So for the last 2 years, we've had our ambulance in service full. For a full 2 years, our calls went from about 170 to 200 plus after putting that ambulance in service with the agreement change with Lincoln Fire and their county. With that, in the last 2 years, we've responded to 7 incidences in this neighborhood. As Scott said, all of those were within the NFPA 1720, which is the standard for volunteer departments' response times. 2 of those were outside of that, with one of those being an extended response time due to severe weather that we were driving into. It's 3 in the morning and very strong hail, wind, storming. A second one, it was just kind of the time of day. It was a Friday evening. At this time, baseball's going on. All of our members were busy. The 2 members that responded lived at the farthest south end of our district, responded to our station, and then responded to this neighborhood, which is on the farthest north end of our district. With all of those times, other than that, we've been able to meet and be there within 15 minutes or less from time of dispatch to apparatus on scene. To kind of clarify, we've, in the last 2.5 years since I've been chief, we've revised our SOGs, we've revised response dynamics, everything. One of the things that we did change that's different to most departments in Lancaster County is we don't allow personal vehicles to respond unless they're very close to the scene, like a cardiac arrest. At that time, they're still expected to perform as they would as an EMT. So all of our response times reflect us responding to the station and responding to an appropriate apparatus, whether it's a fire call, bringing an engine, whether it's an ambulance for a medical call. About under 50% of those times, we were both ALS. As of right now, we have 1 paramedic, myself, and a second paramedic that just joined. So with that, we look into the consideration of call details, and we'll mutual aid appropriate resources. So like calling for Lincoln Fire for ALS if it's needed, especially in those Delta and Echo responses, which are the higher acuity calls. Same with fire. If how it gets dispatched, if it's confirmed structure fire, we do watch that and mutual aid immediately. With bordering this neighborhood too, along 112th and Old Cheney, through our whole district, anything that is bordered and shows up on CAD on that road, both departments get notified and dispatched at the same time. So right in this neighborhood, if it were to fall on 112th or Old Cheney, both Southeast and Bennett would be notified. And that's through our whole district, whatever other department borders up to us. So just wanted to show a little clarification on our response dynamics and the stuff that we've changed the last 2 years to improve those times. So any questions or anything?
Would you like to leave those materials with us?
Yeah, I definitely can. So they're pretty self-explanatory. I kind of highlighted the dates and then the year-end reports, stuff like this. And then this one here is the fire station report is just for this neighborhood with those response times on the back here. So thank you guys for your time.
Is there anyone else in opposition to testify today? Anyone else in opposition? Seeing no one, any neutral testimony?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. We state your name and sign in.
John Weezy, Southeast Fire Chief. I'll do this. I'm just going to put out forward that Southeast did not go soliciting for this annexation. I just want to make that clear that to Bennett and their patrons or their department, we're not out there for the business and annexing for income for our department. Yes, the city has annexed some of our district over the portions of the years. I also want to clarify that when we do get paged out, we run both stations. We have 40 members on it, 18 EMTs and 4 paramedics. Not that that makes any difference. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Bennett. They are a good department. And the chief is correct on that 112th. We do get paged out together. I don't understand what the deal was here. Would I like the taxpayers' money? Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't? I just want to clarify that Southeast is not in the business of taking other districts or soliciting other districts. We did not go in there and ask for them. You know, if we did that, we could have went over to Hickman or anything else and done that same thing or Waverly, and we're not here. We're here to serve the public and help in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Is there any staff to testify on this?
I do have a couple questions, which I think Dave, Mr. Durbin, or our attorney might be able to help answer. First of all, who would have been notified? Was there just one applicant, or would everybody who signed the petition have been notified about this?
About this hearing?
About this hearing, yes, specifically, yeah.
Good morning.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Morgan Sanchez, Deputy County Attorney. Yes, so the statute requirements were that at least two notices would have gone out publicly in the newspaper, and I just checked that they both were published effectively in advance of this hearing, with the most recent one being more than 7 days prior to today. So it was specifically stated to the persons living within the district that is to be annexed, so the 112th to 120th, Pine Lake to Old Cheney.
So it was just in public newspaper, wasn't like a direct piece of mail to every person?
I know for a fact that it was the newspaper for sure.
Okay.
I would need to confirm with the clerk's office. I think a letter was also sent out to the applicant and then the districts.
Okay. The second question, we had some questions about the taxing. If we approve this, like let's just say at the end of April we approve this and there's going to be a switch, when does the tax revenue potentially switch? Because it's in the middle of a tax year, all of our property taxes are in arrears. So do you have any idea when that would be effective if it did switch?
You just answered your own question. All our property taxes are in arrears.
Yeah, but is it effective April 1st, or does it happen at the end of a calendar year or fiscal year or anything like that? That's kind of what I was more
I
asking.
think I would like to probably call on Dennis, who's here, to speak to that if he's available. Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but
Yes.
the truth?
Yes. All right, Dennis Meyer, County Budget and Fiscal Officer. So as far as the tax piece goes, the tax piece would not change until the next budget year, which really means it's going to be tax year 26. So if it changed, Southeast wouldn't get their first half payments until really kind of a year from now. So there's really no way to kind of stop it at a certain point in time. It just rolls into the next budget year.
Questions for the attorney? Seeing none, thank you, Morgan.
Thank you.
I do have a question for the clerk's office, if I may. The question, as the deputy county attorney said, if an individual notice went out to the applicant or that, just asking if that happened. Typical.
Yeah, so it's Matt Hanson, County Clerk, and I do affirm that I am testifying the truth and nothing but the truth. My understanding is that there was a lead applicant who collected the petition, submitted them. He also submitted the map and the deposit for the newspaper publishing, and we've been in contact with him and of the hearing and all the materials as they went forward.
So it was just to the specific applicant, not to everybody who signed a petition.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions of staff? We will now close the public hearing. Typically, when we have a public hearing, we make the decision then the following week. We take this week to study the information that we've just received, and we'll make that determination later.
How do I find out, or how do you let us know what the outcome?
When we do that, we do it in our public meeting. And so you could watch the meeting from home, you could attend the meeting, or you could go back and look in the meeting minutes when those are published.
It's not like you'll send us a letter or an email or anything.
I don't know about
We
that.
typically
Is that?
don't.
Pardon?
I don't think we typically do, this,
I would think the applicant
In the-
gets noticed, but
maybe.
That's a really good question. Can I go to the deputy county attorney for that?
Once they're ready to make a determination on it, it'll be published in the public agenda prior to the meeting. So if you want to just keep an eye on the upcoming agendas, you'll see it listed there as a public hearing action item similar to today, and that's when they'll vote on it.
So you just go to what, I mean, and I have no clue, what do you say, look under commissioner.gov, or what, how do I?
Well, actually, our wonderful clerk will be able to tell you, but it's on the meeting minutes here.
he's going to read it out loud in just a
You'll read it
second.
out loud, actually, in just a second. Yep.
Yeah, we'll read it aloud at the end of the meeting, and then we'll be glad to talk with you about that specific piece after the meeting.
Stick around after the meeting. Staff can absolutely help get you connected with what we need.
Oh, okay, you stick around now, yes, sir, okay, thank you.
Okay, we will now close the public hearing and proceed with our agenda.
Commissioners, that brings us to item 8, legislative update.
LB 1219 is an existential threat to all political subdivisions in the state of Nebraska, and if you are in any way concerned about the budgets of political subdivisions, you should be alarmed by LB 1219.
Including rural fire departments, right?
I actually don't know if it applies to rural fire departments. It applies to schools, it applies to cities, it applies to counties.
Yeah.
It applies to a lot of them. I don't know if it applies to rural fire departments. I would have to double check that. I don't know if it gets the 15 centers. But it is quite similar to the most draconian things that we saw coming out of the LB 34 conversations centered around, hard caps and stuff like that. And it's a real threat. Talk to your state senators.
Anything else for legislative update? Thank you for that. We can move on to public comment.
Item 9, public comment. Members of the public wishing to speak on items related to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Are there any members of the public wishing to speak today? Any members of the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, please move on to the announcements.
Item 10, announcements. The Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, February 26, 2026 at 8:30 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. The Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026 at 9 a.m. with the Board of Equalization immediately following in room 112 of the County City Building. Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. Board of Commissioners meetings are streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. LNK TV apps are available on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Item 11 is adjournment.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries.